Hello and welcome to the Tea Party Audio Channel. This is strange. The Washington Examiner, which is a right-leaning outlet for media, has the headline, "Purging Liz Cheney would be wrong-headed." And it's written by Washington Examiner. In other words, nobody put their name to it, which I find revealing when you consider how anti-Trump and pro-Cheney the article is. I think we need to talk about Liz Cheney a bit. I was very supportive of her until, like many, she did the voting for Trump's impeachment, the second one, which he will again, it will have to be erased or acquitted either way, just like the first one. And the article goes on to say that people can disagree about whether or not she should have voted for the impeachment. And of course they can disagree. However, if we're going to pretend a little bit harder that we're living in a country that is of laws, then we need to pay attention to what those laws say. And the fact is, yes, the fact is what Donald Trump did was not an impeachable offense. He did not call for insurrection. And the fact that Cheney and the other 9 stood up and said, "Oh, yes, he did," doesn't make it true. And the idea that the Democrats are just piling on, well, that's just because they're trying to destroy their enemy, and they're doing a very fine job. We don't need to hand them the shovel to bury us in our own grave. We really don't. And more importantly, we don't need to hand them the shovel to bury us in our grave when a lot of us are physically fit and ready to have a good time and be highly productive. So, coming out to defend her, let's take a look a little bit at this article. I can't read too much of it because it will infuriate me, and you're welcome to look it up yourself. It would be wrong-headed for the Republican caucus in the House of Representatives to remove Representative Liz Cheney from her leadership post. No, it wouldn't. It would also be monumentally counterproductive for the Republican Party's political health. Why? Because the Republicans have done so very much with their health to aid Americans. No, you can point to Donald Trump and all of his successes, but look at Tim Ryan when he was the Speaker of the House. Did you even remember Tim Ryan was the Speaker of the House? Nobody's ever going to forget Nancy Pelosi was Speaker of the House, and nobody is ever confused who controls the power when Nancy Pelosi is the Speaker of the House. Tim Ryan? Not so much. The other Republicans that have held it, outside of Newt Gingrich, nobody can remember their names. Nobody can point to their successes. Everyone can point to the successes of Nancy Pelosi when she was the Speaker of the House. They play the game better. Do they play it dirty? Oh, yes, they do. Does that mean we should play it dirty? No, but we do need to play by the same rules they are playing by, and we're not, and therefore we are getting crushed. Trump did not play by these bizarre Washington, D.C. Republican rules, and therefore he was able to get a lot done. History will well remember that he is the one that got us the vaccine. If the Democrats continue to screw it up, like in California, where the vaccination rate is a joke, or they screw it up like Joe Biden has, where he wants to vaccinate the 9/11 terrorist before the people in nursing homes, yeah, that's going to be remembered too by those who survive and make it to the next realm. So when it says that the health of the Republican Party is in trouble, it needs to be in trouble because some of us are really sick of Republicans simply being speed bumps. If you do the tug-of-war analogy, all the Republicans ever do is slow the knot from moving towards the Dems. They have yet, outside of Donald Trump, to pull it back the other direction. As Tim Pool even pointed out, and he's a lefty, what is the Republican, why can't I say that word? Republican position. And why aren't they fighting for it? Why are they continuously fighting for the other side? Take, for example, the whole race issue. Ooh, whitey bad, whitey bad. Well, what is white? Whitey bad is the lefty stance. What is white? Are Italians white? Depends on what decade you live in. Are Jews white? Depends on what neighborhood you live in. Are Asians white? Depends on... Oh, well, they're not people of color, as we've found out many, many, many times. So if they're not people of color, what are they? And people of color, why are we standing for that term? If you say people of color, oh, you're praised. But if you say colored people, oh, you're bad. Guys, those verbal gymnastics just shows that their Stasi's are winning by leaps and bounds. Should Liz Cheney stay in a position of power? Her electors, the people that elected her in Wyoming, certainly think not. So why does Washington, D.C. get to turn around and say, your representative who did not represent you, we think she should stay in power? Yeah, that means there's a huge problem with the political health of the Republican Party. This article says that fighting for Trump is looking backwards. Well, some of us think he's coming around in 2024 and he's going to kick some major butt. He really is. Now, if the Republicans aren't there for him again, I don't even know if there's even an America left. I could make a whole video on this, but I won't. But I'll do it in short. And it goes like this, and then I'm going to wrap up. Is it America when you have the only free country in the entire world that has a fair and free election, has 27,000 guards protecting the new world record, it's not world record, but United States record of votes received, has 27,000 troops to protect him, has walls of fences 12 feet high with steel barbed wire surrounding the city, and most especially surrounding the capital area. In a free country. You cannot find in history before January 20th, 2021, a free country that has a free election with any example coming anywhere near that. You can't. Doesn't exist. You can find it in totalitarian countries, minus the fact that they don't even have that many troops, and minus the fact that even the totalitarians have their people come and visit the fairly elected person. Whatever America is, it is not what it was before January 20th. Dystopian movies from Hollywood about the future never got as bad as what happened on January 20th. With the fences, with the barbed wire, with the 27,000 troops. There's not a single movie that ever projected such a dire consequence of the president being afraid of his own people. There's not one. Nobody would have ever went that outlandish. And yet there it was in real life. We were told 4 years ago, if Trump wins, he's going to be a fascist dictator and he's going to have tanks on the streets of Washington, D.C. 4 years later, Biden has tanks on the streets of Washington, D.C. and troops everywhere and machine gun nest set up. And he's done over 40 plus executive orders in less than 10 days. Now, you want to remind us again what a fascist dictator is? Because apparently you seem to have forgotten, starting at around 12 o'clock in the afternoon, January 20th, Eastern Standard Time. Whatever this country is, it is not what it was. When you picture the inauguration of 2021, that's no free country, people. You know it as well as I do. Free countries have never done that, and guess what? They still haven't. We are not a free country anymore. Slicing and dicing jobs on day one, that's not what free countries do. They don't do that to their own people. We are not America anymore. We really need a new name. I know Rush Limbaugh likes to fight and say, well, if there's no point, then we just need to give up. Well, this health of the Republican Party kind of gave up. Where were they during all the big techs showing off their muscles? Where were they during all of the time of the Democrats showing off their muscles with changing all the voting laws? Click, 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 click. There they go. There's another one, another one, another one, another one, another one, another one, another one. Where were they? No, I'm sorry, Rush. Love you dearly. But it's too late. They won. They have the army in Washington, D.C. to prove it. I was in Costco the other day, and I'm sure many of you have visited your local stores. It was packed, of course. And how do you go into those stores and not be reminded in California, but I can't go inside a church? There's no sense to any of this. There's no logic to any of it. And Americans gave up the Bill of Rights and didn't even fight for it. We do not have the Bill of Rights in blue states. We didn't even fight for it. They say they want to replace Gavin Newsom in California with a recall. Fine. Replace him with what? You don't just throw a vacuum out there and expect that it's going to be filled with the perfect object. No, 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 no. Kicking people out without an actual replacement. This is why the elections. This is why you got to go with the elections. Like, look, if you're in a democracy, you get the government you deserve. California wanted Gavin Newsom. He's done what he said he was going to do. Why are they complaining? It's no different than Minneapolis with their police department. The health of the Republican Party. Donald Trump is looking backwards. No, baby. Donald Trump is looking forwards. We need a hero. I can't sing the whole song because I don't know the whole song, but we need a hero. And, yeah, he's the only one that's ever done it. They used to show pictures of Obama when he first got elected as Superman. He was more bizarro. He was the guy who destroyed. And Biden came in and said, hey, let me finish that third term that Hillary didn't get the chance to do. And like a good dictator, is that a boy potato? We move on. He has done countless executive orders. It's over 40. Cheney needs to be gone. If the Washington Examiner has a problem with it, fine. You go Pravda next. Get woke, go broke. Us peons out here, and by the way, peon is now a verb, because that's what they're doing. They're peeing on us. Us peons out here, we're watching it. The only chance we've had to not get screwed and to take the screws to their thumbs for a change was GameStop. Viva la GameStop. I've made a commitment that in these videos at the end I will put forth something that we can do to turn it around. Okay, here's what I put forth to turning it around. Open your mouth. Stop hiding. As they showed in that episode of The Twilight Zone, which is why that show is iconic because the stories are timeless. If you are afraid of being put in the cornfield, the only way to succeed and destroy that monster is to get together and destroy him at once, because they can't take you all out at once. If everyone opens their mouth and says, enough, enough, no more double standards. We will put ours in prison, but guess what? Yours are going too. We will enforce the laws on our people, but guess what? Yours too. You make idle threats, you will be held accountable to the standards you set up. But if everybody keeps their mouth closed and continues to not fight for the already lost Bill of Rights, then you get what you deserve. I've been canceled so many times it's not even funny. I don't know if it'd ever be funny to be canceled, to tell you the truth, but nonetheless. So I'm walking the walk out here. I've got my subscribers that I'm very grateful for, and I've had more and more come on board in the last few weeks. Thank you very much. But as you can tell, I'm a baby channel. And I'm a baby channel who's done a lot of work. But I'm in a niche category that apparently, I'm ruffling feathers on my side and the other side. And therefore my side says, I don't want to listen to that. Fine. Then keep listening to the guy who's done over 40 executive orders and has changed America in ways that cannot be reversed. They just can't. I mean, in real life they could. But in real life we don't do things like that. So is it really real life? Welcome to the paradox. Thank you for watching. If you are with me and you keep heart, then open your mouth. Stop the silence. It's not helping anybody. Does it put your neck on the line? It does. But our grandfathers and their grandfathers and our grandmothers and their grandmothers, they crossed enormous dangers to get to where we are today. Are we just going to now lay down and go, take care of me? Oh, yeah. I'm not. Have I paid the price for it? Yes. Was it worth it? Yes, but landing up in the cornfield with my head bobbing up and down while the rest of the people cower in the house, yeah, it's not so fun either. But at least I'm free in the cornfield. Thanks for watching. We'll see you in the future.